I love bullet journaling, but I've never connected with those super complex systems that you see online. For me, it's about creating something that's simple and sustainable and something that really works for me in real life. I found that the secret to focus isn't in another productivity app or those pre-made planners or complex layouts. It's creating a simple visual system with paper and with a pen that works really the way that our brains work. I've discovered after years of digital planners and tools that bullet journaling, when stripped down to its very essence, has given me more focus and clarity than any app ever has. In this video, I'm going to show you my method and how simple it is using my bullet journal. I'm sure, like many of you, I used to feel overwhelmed by scattered thoughts, unclear goals, and dreams that seemed to float just out of reach. But what really frustrated me was not being able to visualize my patterns, my habits, my progress, my setbacks, and how to actually improve upon those. Without a clear way to see everything in one place, I really struggled to maintain focus on what really mattered. The breakthrough came when I discovered a simple bullet journaling method that's transformed how I focus and how I plan. I found a way to visually capture not just my thoughts and goals, but also the patterns that were hiding in plain sight. Today, I'm sharing exactly how I use my bullet journal to not just organize my thoughts, but to also see the patterns that help me grow. So let me show you how I actually use my bullet journal using the different notebooks inside. Keeps everything organized and in place, especially when I need to switch out the notebooks for my journaling, which I'm going to get to in just a moment and show you exactly how I do that. I keep my yearly planning, like annual goals, my habit trackers, and those special moments in one field notes notebook that stays in my leather cover all year long. In the past, when I used the traditional book journals, I would have to recreate those important pages in the front that pertain to my annual goals and habit trackers when I switched out my notebook. Now I have one notebook for all the annual and important items for the whole year. And then when I fill up the daily journal, which is in a separate notebook for my monthly, weekly, and daily planning and journaling, I simply replace it with a new one while my yearly notebook stays intact. I really love this system because I feel like it's more simple, it's more practical with the individual notebooks rather than using the binder type book that I had before that's just one big notebook. And once you fill it up, you lose that yearly information in the front when you have to switch notebooks halfway through the year. I also keep a third notebook for random ideas and creative moments. It's completely optional, but I love having this dedicated space where I can freely sketch and jot down sudden inspirations or just play with my colored pencils. When it comes to choosing your own notebooks, focus on what feels right for you, something that you'll actually enjoy using every day. And remember, you can always adjust your system as you discover what works best. That's the beauty of bullet journaling. It grows with you. As for supplies, keep it simple. All you really need is a pen that you really enjoy writing with, and maybe a small ruler if you like clean lines. That's it. Before I show you how I actually use this, let me flip through the bullet journal and give you a quick tour of the 5 core sections that make this system work for me in my personal life and my business life. The first section is my habit trackers, where I monitor my daily choices and I see patterns emerging. The second section is my annual focus goals, broken down into manageable 3-month focus goals. My monthly goals and wrap up, where I make those 3-month goals actionable and I review what's working. And the next one is my weekly focus and wrap up, where I'm turning monthly goals into clear action steps toward my main focus. And the last one is my daily journal for gratitude practice and my reflection questions. I also include 2 special sections that fuel motivation and positivity. First one is my amazing moments, where I capture the good stuff that's worth remembering. And the second one is my quotes and inspiration for wisdom that guides me. Now let me show you how I actually use this system in real life. The magic happens when these sections work together to show me what's really going on in my life and help me stay on track and focused. First up are my habit trackers. This is probably my favorite part because it's so simple but so effective. I just make a little X for each habit I complete every day, and then I tend to add them up at the end of the day. This allows me to see exactly where I'm making progress and where I'm not. It also helps me to understand if maybe I need to revise that habit or get rid of it altogether. It's about gathering information through the process to discover what really works for you and what doesn't, and then make those adjustments, which is why the bullet journal is so great, because you can change up anything that you have in your bullet journal, any of your layouts, and not rely on a pre-made layout that really doesn't suit you. Something really surprised me when I stopped tracking my walks on my Apple Watch to actually doing that little cross on my tracker. There was this strange psychological shift that every time I saw that X on the paper where I had finished a walk, it was motivating to me, and it just made me want to continue doing more. And that's something that no digital tracker ever gave me. There's something about actually making the mark yourself and seeing everything visually on the paper day after day, month after month. And then if you don't actually do that habit, if you don't have the X and you see a blank spot, well, then you have to figure out, is this a habit I want to continue? Is it really not serving me? Or do I really need to do it and need to work on improving it? What truly transformed my focus was how I approach goals. Instead of having random thoughts and ideas floating around, I now use a simple 4-step process. First, I brain dump all my big focus areas for the year, just getting all of these desired goals out of my head and onto paper. Then I break these down into more manageable 3-month goals. From there, I create monthly focuses, which turn into specific weekly actions. This simple breakdown helps me to turn those big dreams into real progress. My monthly section bridges the gap between those bigger goals and weekly actions. Each month, I set clear intentions based on my quarterly focus. Then, and this is crucial, I wrap it up with reflection. What worked? What didn't work? What can I improve upon? This helps me to stay on track and stay focused without feeling overwhelmed, and actually allows me to see those patterns that are emerging in my life. Weekly planning is where those monthly goals become real action. I keep these really simple. On Sundays, I create the weekly focus spread for the next week, and I write down my main items to focus on and key tasks that move me toward my goals, and then I assign those to each day of the week. The weekly wrap-up helps me to catch trends quickly before a month has gone by, which helps me in my personal development and my productivity. Just a few other items I include on here are a list of meals I've planned for the week, so I stay on target with eating healthy and using up the groceries that I have in my kitchen. I also list a section of habits that I really want to focus on. These tend to be the habits that I really need to improve upon and give me the most benefit. This is one of my favorite sections because I interact with it daily. Each night, I set up the next day's plan by reviewing my most important focus areas and habits I want to accomplish the next day. I prefer this method instead of waiting until the morning to plan, so that I wake up each day knowing exactly what I'm expecting of myself for the day. It really has helped me to stay focused. I've actually started adding my step goal to the day as well, so I can make sure that I get those steps in throughout the day, because one of my goals is actually to increase my steps every day, every week, every month. My daily journaling practice is simple but powerful. Each morning and evening, I practice gratitude, acknowledging both the beautiful moments and the challenging ones, because every experience has something to teach us. For the rest of my daily reflection, I follow a simple 3-part formula. First, I write about how my day unfolded, just capturing the events and the experiences. Then I celebrate with what went well. Maybe I hit my step goal or saw progress in something I've been working on. Finally, and this is really crucial for growth, I reflect on what I could have done better. This helps me to spot patterns, whether it's certain triggers or habits that I need to adjust. It really is amazing how putting your thoughts onto paper actually contributes to your focus and your personal growth journey. What makes this entire system different is its simplicity. Each section has a very specific purpose in maintaining focus, and it helps me to visualize my path as a practical tool to help me see where I am, where I've been, and where I'm going. What I've discovered through this simple bullet journal practice is that real transformation doesn't come from complex systems. It comes from consistency with the basics. The beauty of this system is that it grows with you. You'll discover what works best for your life, and that's exactly how it should be. This isn't about copying someone else's system, it's about creating clarity in a way that works for you. If you're feeling overwhelmed by scattered thoughts or an unclear direction, just start small. All you need is one notebook. Just keep it simple. You can begin with daily reflection, add what serves you, remove what doesn't, and let it evolve specifically for you. Bullet journaling is not about creating perfect spreads and following rigid rules. It's about finding clarity and focus in a way that actually works for your life. You can be as creative as you want with it, but just make sure that whatever you're creating, that you're gonna stick with it and you're gonna pick it up each day. I'd love to know what's one area of your life that you feel that you need more clarity and focus in. Drop it in the comment below and let's discuss how a simple bullet journal might be able to help you with that. Also, if you found this helpful, give me the thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, especially if you want to find out more about how to create more clarity and more focus. And we're reinventing our lives, so the next video is going to be all about that, reinventing our lives, so stay tuned for that one.